All right, and welcome to another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. As you have seen in my last video, I am doing a Japanese segment. Why? Because I have been asked by a shitload of people to do a Japanese segment, and I have been asked by people to compare the 18, the 12, or the big houses, blah, blah, blah. Also, my 10th best viewed videos in my channel is a comparison between the 12 Yamazaki and the Distillers Reserve. So, without further ado, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to first start off with the entry-level Japanese whiskeys, and then I'm going to go through the 12s, the 18s, and then some younger distilleries in Japan. So, you can see I am in my studio. I designed the studio so I can film rain or shine, night or day. But right now, I should really be filming outside under the umbrella, outside nice and cool. Instead, I am filming in here just because I do it for you so I can see this. I am sweating like a rapist in church. I'm sweating like a whore that's in a confession box. It is hot up here. It is hot. That's why the plants are growing so well. It's like a fucking greenhouse. Anyway, this is the Wall of Fame. This is my Maharaja motherfucker. He gave it to me for my 40th birthday. It is a 1983 Dom Perignon. And then this one here are all the rare malts, and you've got some Louis XIIIs, a 53-year-old Glenrothes. Whew, it's hot up here. Holy shit, Christ. Anyway, so today I've got here Nikka Yoichi, single malt, no age statement. The Nikka Taketsuru, and the Miyagikyo. So when you're saying Japanese words, okay, before you start saying shit in Japanese or Japanese shit, you should watch The Last Samurai, okay? That's probably the best. It's better than Duolingo. The Last Samurai, you watch it, everything you say has to come from the stomach with a roar, you know, like, whisky, like that. So when you go to a Japanese restaurant, don't say please or arigato. Don't say that shit. Just demand stuff like sushi or sashimi or bento. Yeah. Donbori. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You get vibe, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway. Whew. It's fucking hot in here. I think the heat's making me fucking delirious. Shit. Anyway. Let's start the Japanese segment. God damn, that's why you get the Glencairn Crystal. God damn. Okay, let's do it. So, let's start with the Nikka Yoichi. So the Japanese are purists when it comes to whiskey, okay? This video might be a little bit longer, by the way, but it might also trigger some people, but fuck you. So this Japanese whiskey, they're very clinical, they're very purist, but in some way they also want to look after the Japanese people's palate. And the Japanese people's palate like clean, clinical flavors. So I will only presume that all of these whiskeys are chill filtered to shit to make sure that it doesn't cloud, because Japanese people want to have that brown liquid, and so it doesn't offend the sensibilities of the Japanese palate, okay? That's not a criticism. It is a criticism. I lie. It's a fucking criticism. But it's also a fact. So what happens when you state a fact that is a criticism? Take it. Take it and shut up. So anyway, Nikka Yoichi. Can't fault the nose on that. It's a no age statement. There's a floral note to it. There's a strangeness to it. There's like a talc, jasmine, a little bit of tannin. There's a smoke to that. Actually, a bit of smoke to that. There's a distinct smoke to that. Caramel, soot, definitely caramel, but more like a light caramel, more like a Russian fudge, or shall I say Japanese fudge? Yes. All right, let's know the second, which is the, what is the second? Taketsuru. Oh shit, I spilled on myself. Fuck. Yeah, so this chair, I got this chair from Facebook Marketplace for like really cheap. It's really old. It smells like an attic. And I think it's like 100+ years old. So fuck it, I thought I'd get it. And I got this one as well from Facebook Marketplace's table. It's like 60 years old. You know, I got obsessed with Facebook Marketplace. I just kept buying shit from there. Anyway. Ooh, this one here has a bit more of a fragrance. Oh, that's interesting. This Taketsuru has a more savory note to it. Like a prosciutto fat. I wouldn't say bacon, I'd say prosciutto fat or a pancetta. Not smoked, but fatty, slightly savory, meaty flavor. A little cleaner, less smoke, less soot. This has more smoke, more soot. And then the Miyagikyo. Is that how you say it? Is that how you fucking say it? Miyagikyo. Miyagikyo. There you go. Cool. They're all, what percentage are these motherfuckers? 45, 43, and 45. So it looks like Taketsuru cheaped out on 2% of alcohol. Oh, wow. So Miyagikyo, Yoichi and Miyagikyo has the best notes. Miyagikyo has more of a condensed fruit, condensed berry, burnt caramel, burnt brown sugar. It's got a little dirtiness to it. I like it. I like it. I imagine it's like the smell of samurais taking their armor off after a 3-day trek around Mount Fuji. Okay, no, probably that's not true. That'll be really, really gross. Fuck, it's hot in here. I'm dripping with sweat. I'm dripping with sweat like a illegal migrant working in a kitchen in the US. Not sure if I'm going to get deported. All right, look, on the nose, I would say I would rank it the Miyagikyo number 1, the Yoichi number 2, and the Taketsuru number 3. What I love about it is that there are 3 very, very distinctly different noses. It surprises me as well because the Nikka Yoichi actually has a distinct smokiness to it. And I may be putting that down to a direct coal-fired still that they still have that would burn, I presume, burn spots and caramel spots on the bottom of the still. But I mean, hey, I don't know. Will that really make the huge difference? I think it could. I think it could, because when you've got a coal fire, and we're not talking about like your high-tech computer-controlled shit. Some poor Japanese motherfucker's probably sitting in the bottom there with a shovel and like leveling out the coal, right? You know what I mean? So maybe it's that. I don't know. I don't actually know. I've never been there. But I presume the Japanese won't just do a coal fire for fun. They'll do it because tradition. And so with tradition, they'll do it with a certain manuality, okay? Or is that rudimentariness? I don't know if that's a word. English is my second language technically, so yeah, whatever, man. But anyway, let's get sipping. Sweetness hits you. Sweetness hits you. A slight herbaceousness. Definitely caramelized brown sugar. You definitely get a smokiness to it, a slight sootiness in the back of the nose. Lightly tanned. There's a strangeness to it. I'm not sure where it's from. I'm not sure what barrel is being used. Is it bourbon barrel? Is it a bourbon and sherry mix? Is it some Mizunara? I am not sure. But there is a slightly weird fragrance to it, like a weird floral nature to it, almost like chrysanthemum tea. Okay, so as a child, my mum used to give me chrysanthemum tea, and to make it palatable, chrysanthemum tea chrysanthemum, is it chrysanthemum or chrysanthemum? Fuck if I know. Anyway, whatever, tea with rock sugar to make it palatable. And what it does is it helps you shit, okay? So if I get blocked up, you know, as a kid, you get a bit of, you know, shit blockage. Yeah, so I get chrysanthemum tea. Anyway, that has a hint of chrysanthemum tea. Let's try the Taketsuru. Okay, the Taketsuru is a lot more palatable and easy, but very soft in the palate. The Taketsuru is creamy and buttery themed. The Taketsuru is like a custard, creamy, buttery cupcake, vanilla. Yeah. Let's try the Miyagikyo. Ooh, the Miyagikyo, out of the two, actually, the three are extremely unique from each other. Distinctly different styles. No, unlike Scotland, Japan doesn't really have regions, okay, it's just Japan. But I would say the three have distinctly different styles. I would say the Taketsuru is more closer to Highland. This is closer to Speyside, even though there's some smoke. And I don't know about the Miyagikyo. I'd say islands, like, even though the Miyagikyo is not supposed to, I don't even know if it's supposed to be peated. I haven't actually researched these bottles beforehand. I know some minor facts because during the tastings, I want to tell people about them, but I don't really look into them as much. I just want to taste them. I just want to drink them in front of you and tell you what I'm tasting and my recommendation. You can tell me about the facts, actually. Tell me, go in the comments below and tell me about the facts, what the story is. But the Miyagikyo is like a Highland Park equivalent. It's definitely got a smokiness to it. And I don't know if it's peated, but it's definitely got an element of like a smoke. More so than the Yoichi, which is supposed to be coal-fired. But that's just a still. It's not the drying of the barley, I think. It's just a still. So it doesn't really matter. It's just if the burn spots are there, then that'll be what's causing that. But the Miyagikyo definitely has more of a smoke profile. Heavier, heftier mouthfeel. Oh, wow. Burnt butter, bonfire, burning leaf litter. One would speculate could be the LA fires, like, you know, like a lot of the, you know, yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go, now I am going to go there. A lot of that kind of just burnt leaf litter, burnt natural wood, okay? The Miyagikyo, to me, is much more of a whiskey drinker's drink, in my opinion. Okay, the Taketsuru, it's a little bit too soft. The Yoichi is pretty good, but the Miyagikyo is really more of a whiskey drinker's drink. Orange marmalade. Hot glass in the back of the palate. Oh shit, that's delicious. Okay, so look, going into this review, I'm not going to, I want to go in there with as little opinions as possible and just taste them and compare them both. These are all no age statements. These are all entry-level whiskeys. Now, time for my take on this lot here, okay? So these are entry-level whiskeys. Before, you used to be able to get them in like 10-year-old or 12-year-old. But now to do that, you got to pay a shitload of money. And now they force you to buy the no age statements, which really pisses me off. It fucks me off. Because They say, oh, the demand is too great. But actually, they just price them in a premium bracket. Lately, when the interest rates went up and everyone's losing their minds, sales of Japanese whiskey, like any other luxury product, actually declined. So there's no reason for that. It's just obviously the cynicism of capitalism. And I'm a capitalist, don't get me wrong, it's fucking ingenious. It's a cynicism of profiteering. They basically just want to hop and shove it up your ass, right? They just want to fuck you. That's it. They just want to charge you as much as possible. So they want the shortest amount of maturation in the warehouse and racking for the maximum amount of price. So they're just trying to screw you. Now they can't go back, because if they go back and drop everything else, they go, wow, we're going to degrade our brand. And they will, because everyone's going to get pissed off. So they have to stay the course. And people are still buying it. So it's not like they're going to cry about it, okay? But I think for the price you pay, look, it's not too bad. The Japanese whiskeys, these ones are, I can taste it. They're expertly blended to the point where it's absurd, right? Like, it's absurd. The flavor profiles are so crisp and clinical and clean that it's absurd. But once again, though, the finish compared to your scotch, for the same price, you can get yourself an older scotch, probably unchill filtered. Let's say maybe Glendronach 12, Glenfiddich 12, Glenlivet 12. All of that stuff for the same price. I mean, you'll get so much more bang for buck. Like I said, look, you can't compare them like that in some ways, but in some ways you can, right? That's my gripe. But anyway, now I'm done with my gripe. Let's go back to these three. They're delicious. I can't fault them. They're fucking delicious. Okay, they're very delicious. They're very pleasurable to drink. In fact, I would even say too palatable, because there's not enough interest factor. It's too easy. But hey, look, most of the world like that. Most of the world love that. If you are a high roller and you want to pay these prices and buy them and use them in a highball, wow, they would make fucking spectacular highballs. But do they make good sipping whiskey? Yes, they do. They're not bad whiskeys. Okay, let's remove value proposition out of it. They're great whiskeys. Like, I cannot complain. I just can't complain. I mean, how do you complain? First world problems. Anyway, look, my pick would be Miyagikyo first, Yoichi, and then Taketsuru, okay? Miyagikyo, complex, mouthfeel, waxy, oily, heavy, hefty, delicious, okay? Delicious. The Yoichi, balanced, perfectly balanced, absolutely phenomenal, extremely palatable. The finish is medium to long. The Miyagikyo is long finish comparatively, okay? We're talking the context of Japanese whiskey, no age statements here. Then you've got the Taketsuru, vanilla, a little bit boring, a little bit weak, a little bit lacking in the balls, okay? It's like, you know, it's just a little bit muted for me, a little bit muted. But in saying that, it's still good, but I'm picking out of the three here because I have to rank them. And yeah, 43%. If they did it 45%, then I would struggle to give you a conclusive take on it. But unfortunately, they did 43%. I don't know why, 43%. Anyway, look, until next time, make sure you eat, smoke, drink. Please stay tuned to the rest of my Japanese whiskey series, okay? So I've got the Hakushu 12, I've got the Yamazaki 12, I've got the Hakushu 18, the Yamazaki 18, and then I have what is actually a very interesting whiskey. It's one of the newest distilleries, actually two of the newest distilleries in Japan. One is called Shizuoka, and the other one is called Akeshi. Okay, so these are the most, and they've got some really weird barrels as well, So really interesting stuff coming up. but I wanted to start with the top three most popular Japanese whiskeys that are single malts, okay, that are single malts. Now look, the reason why I state that is because recently Japanese whiskey have had a regulation applied where to call it Japanese whiskey, you have to actually be made in Japan. So surprise, surprise, a lot of Japanese whiskeys are actually Scotch whiskey blended with Japanese spirit, or just pure fucking Scotch whiskey relabeled as Japanese whiskey. How cynical is that shit? Very disappointing, Japanese people. You're supposed to be honorable. But no, obviously, if the law is there, or if the law's not there, then everyone's going to claim this and that, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so recently they've introduced that. Now, I heard through the grapevine, when I say grapevine, I mean the interwebs, that not all Japanese distilleries have to abide by that rule. So I'm still flabbergasted that they won't. What a bunch of cynical fucks, whoever didn't agree to it. So whoever didn't agree to it, they can go F themselves up the Japanese beehole, because I think it just removes the integrity of the whole industry. But nevertheless, it doesn't matter. It's pretty well kept, the secrets. I know that Nikka, a lot of Nikka that isn't single malt is Ben Nevis and some other Scotch and shit. But these ones are single malt. So in good faith, I hope they're actually distilled purely in Japan or Nippon. Nippon? Yeah. So anyway, until next time, make sure you eat, smoke, drink. I've said that already, but 3 whiskeys hit me hard. It hits me hard. Until next time, make sure you eat, smoke, drink. Cheers.